Welcome, everyone. I am Nathan, he is Raymond, and we are the Super Infodump Brothers from another mother.
Today we are talking about the day the Earth blew up, a Looney Tunes movie. But before we do that, Nathan, how you doing today?
Feeling good? And most of all, I'm feeling loony! Woohoo! Woohoo! Woohoo!
Me too, Nathan. I'm also feeling quite loony. And if our audience wants to be loony with us, you can join us over at our Patreon. The link is in the description below. And there you will find many of the other things that we do under the Friendly Studios umbrella. What a good movie this was. I went into the theater, sat down, and when it started, I was worried that, at the same time, it's like, I'm gonna enjoy this. Like, this is something I love. I love Looney Tunes. I'm gonna enjoy this. But is it gonna be worth the money I paid for entrance, right? Because is this just gonna be, like, a
run-of-the-mill slop.
Yeah. It's like, this is just gonna be one of, like, a skit, like, just a joke. And, no, there's a lot of substance here. I think that it was the most I've laughed in a movie theater in a long time. Like, it was legitimately funny. Like, it was like, I was like, this is magic. This is the magic of the Looney Tunes. This is why we need these kind of movies still being produced and made, and I am so glad, and I really hope that this does, like, incredibly well in the box office to show the stupid studios that, hey, 2D animation, not only that, just wacky comedy is still good, and you can still produce it, and just fun general audience comedy with good writing and like, good animation still can be produced, and people will sit down, buy the ticket to watch it.
100%. It's just like, yeah, exactly, like you were saying. I went into the movie definitely wanting to support the Looney Tunes, like, would not regret that regardless, but I wasn't expecting to be impressed much during the movie, just because, Hollywood hasn't always had the greatest track record when it comes to doing animation, especially 2D animation in these past few years. Like, they haven't really done much investing in it unless it was, like, a big budget thing. So, like, seeing just, like, another Looney Tunes movie, just thinking, oh, yeah, they don't really care about the brand much nowadays. I don't really expect them to do much with it, but, like, happy to support anyway. But then I actually watched the movie, and I was smiling from ear to ear pretty much the whole time. Like, as the story went on, I'm like, oh, wait, this is actually funny. Oh, wait, this is actually entertaining. Oh, wait, I'm actually, like, flat out, like, out loud laughing multiple times throughout this movie, which does not normally happen very often. Like, there are so many good jokes, and not such good jokes, but, like, there's a lot of heart behind the story, too. And I think the thing I love the most as, like, a longtime animation nerd, especially, like, Warner Brothers animation nerd, is I just love all the deep cuts and callbacks to, like, Looney Tunes history seen throughout the movie, especially in the background. Like, if you know about, like, lots of details from the franchise, you can see all these callbacks and references in just, like, either background characters or just, like, straight up jokes they do, like the callbacks they do. It's like, oh man, the people make this really just do love Looney Tunes and just really just trying to make an homage to Looney Tunes, and this felt like specifically an homage to both, like, 50s, 60s era sci-fi movies mashed together with, like, early era Looney Tunes. Like, not just Looney Tunes in general, but specifically, like, the earlier era, like the era where, like, Bob Clampett was one of the directors, like, his cartoons. It felt like just a big extended version of a Bob Clampett Looney Tunes cartoon, and that's why I loved so much about it. It's just, like, it had that energy, it had that fun, it really just embraced the cartooniness, and Porky and Daffy just made such a great team in this movie, just as they did back in the day when Bob Clampett was doing cartoons about them. So yeah, I just love seeing the movie, and I really hope we get more of that in the future.
Yeah, I am so happy for this movie, and I'm so thankful for Ketchup Entertainment. This movie was not going to come out, and Ketchup Entertainment was the one that released it, was the one that bought it from Warner and released it. The same way that they're doing with the Wile E. Coyote versus Acme movie that was not going to be released, and Ketchup Entertainment is essentially buying it from Warner's. It's been sold, and it's also going to be released in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers right now, I'm going to say it's not great. Like as a studio, like as a big studio, it's taking a lot of decisions that are very bad for its own brands. Very bad. Like they decided to cancel all the animated projects in their Max service. Like, and that was something really big that they did because so many of the animations that they had slated and they had put up and actually were producing, like things that were in production, things that were like almost done, things that were actually done, and they weren't released. And it's really hurtful for the people who work in animation, and it's really heartbreaking for the people who fall in love with these animated movies and these animated shows for them to be taken away as like tax write-offs and like just like general like I don't know like crappiness about all of this
Yeah, this
like
really
I
just goes to show how unfortunate the unfortunate results that can easily happen from big corporate mergers, and like why big mega corporate mergers like this should not really be a thing. I mean, yeah, of course there are benefits to that too, and we can see lots of benefits, like as always. But I think a lot of the drawbacks can be when a merger happens is that a company itself just kind of loses its vision and like what it stood for originally, and you can see that all the repercussions of that like trickle down to the rest of the company and all the people working for it. Whereas if Warner Brothers was still its own company, I think it would have been able to handle its products a lot better these past few years. But the thing is, it merged with Discovery, and whoever's in charge of the Warner Brothers Discovery merger now, like I think the guy in charge of the whole thing was the guy that worked more at Discovery than Warner Brothers, just did not have the same vision in mind for all this compared to the people who worked at Warner Brothers. So like you're giving this guy who like did not really have much experience with all these kind of products and IPs. You're giving him ultimate control over all these things, and he's like, I don't know what this is. Toss it in the garbage can, I guess. And so it's like, why put him in charge when he doesn't actually have the experience in this? But that's what happens when these mega mergers happen. It's like you have people who don't really have an appreciation for the things that they simply have on their plate. They're just looking at the money and the numbers.
Yeah. Ben 10, for example, is one of the like highest grossing like franchises in the world. Like it's up there with the Looney Tunes. It's up there with like Spider-Man. It's up there with so many of like the big like franchises. It's like worldwide known. And Warner Brother has the rights to it, and it has done nothing with it. Like, and when I say nothing with it, I mean like there was like a cartoon show like a couple of years ago.
The reboot or whatever.
The reboot, yes. But there's so much stuff that they can do with the audience. Like, it's like they can do movies, they can do like, I don't know, like full on series, like different series running at the same time. They can do so much. The audience is gonna be there. Like, they can still make toys, like, and they're gonna sell. So it's like, it's so weird that they have such a money cow and they're not using it. Like, it's a weird thing. So, and that's what you're saying, right? It's like people that don't know these things, that are put in charge. And it's like, hey, you have this thing that people are gonna enjoy and watch, and it's gonna make you money, but they're not taking advantage of those things, and it's so weird. Like, that they don't have like somebody there, like in these companies that like are in charge. Like, there should be someone who is like advising, right?
Mm-hmm.
There should be like these advisors for each like franchise and stuff like that they have in these big studios and these big companies, right? Like, there should be someone who's like in charge of, this is the Looney Tunes advisor. Hey, we should do this. Like, this is the like Ben 10 advisors or the Cartoon Network advisors. You know, like somebody who's like generally in charge, that is gonna like go up to the person managing everything and go like, hey, this is gonna work if you greenlight it. Like, this is actually gonna work because look at the audience, look at the money we're making here in this area. Like, I don't know, because it just feels weird that like they're not taking advantage of this. Like, Looney Tunes is one of the most popular things out there. It's like 2 Looney Tunes projects like canceled completely and had to be like bought by some other studio entertainment just to be able to be released. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and who the heck is like Ketchup Entertainment? Because like I'm like, oh, these people are like awesome. Like why? Like they're just like
They came out of
saving.
nowhere when the world needed them most.
Yeah, exactly. Like we like Looney Tunes. Like they're saving Looney Tunes. From like the rut it's been in a while, because it's like the last Looney Tunes thing we had was like the Looney Tunes cartoons,
Mm-hmm.
which were actually pretty good. And like they returned back to form after the Looney Tunes show,
Mm-hmm.
which had like different personification, like it presented like different personalities for each character. Like it wasn't like completely faithful to the original, but it was
Mm-hmm.
like one I grew up with, which I really loved, that like the Looney Tunes show,
Mm-hmm.
because I grew up with it.
Of course.
But I also grew up with the original Looney Tunes, so I knew that there were some differences in the personalities. What I love about this movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up, Looney Tunes movie, and I am gonna say the full title every time. Uh it's that like Porky Pig and Daffy feel like the most like original like counterparts. Like they feel more attuned to the Looney Tunes cartoons show, which was trying to bring back the original personalities
Mm-hmm.
of the characters. And I love the fact that we focus more on Daffy being loony and less on Daffy being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really,
Basically
yeah,
this is them return like pulling Porky and Daffy from like the 1930s era of like the Looney Tunes. It's like back
yes,
before Chuck Jones really established the personalities for these characters, because they did have a distinct personality before that. It's just nowadays whenever we think Bugs and Daffy, we think more of the Chuck Jones interpretation, especially Daffy, where we think of Daffy as like the grumpy, angry, greedy foil to
yes,
Bugs Bunny, who's always like second fiddle, second banana to Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny's cool personality and is always falling for his tricks. And like, yeah, that is a valid interpretation of Daffy. We love that version of Daffy for
yep,
years because Chuck Jones did a great job with him. But Daffy wasn't
yep.
always like that. Like back in the 1930s, specifically when he was getting paired with Porky Pig, he was just kind of this. He was way more, well, literally Daffy. He was just this agent of chaos, bringing in all this loony shenanigans around Porky, while Porky's just kind of struggling to keep up, or is just sort of just riding that loony wave along with Daffy, just to try to like make whatever they're trying to do work. So this cartoon really felt like they were leading into the 1930s era, bringing back that old-fashioned version of Daffy. I loved it.
Yes, I really loved one of my favorite Looney Tunes was whenever like Daffy and Porky were like acting as like those characters that were like in space. Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
what was the name of it?
Oh, Duck Dodgers in the 22nd and a half
Yeah.
century.
Yes. No, sorry. Pretty sick still.
All good.
So
It really is just a great pairing of just like the typical everyman in Porky Pig and just the goofy shenanigans that Daffy Duck bring.
yes. So I really loved their dynamic there in that specific show.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of these characters playing other characters. And that's what I love about the Looney Tunes. One of the things I really love about the Looney Tunes is that they feel like the Muppets.
Mm.
Like I compare them because it's like they are characters playing themselves in different movies.
Especially since
Like,
they break the fourth wall so much, just like the Muppets. So, like, in the middle of a cartoon, it would not be out of character for them to be like, hey, what's going on with the script? Animator, we need to do something about the script. Or you have another cartoon where they're literally, like, talking to the director or the producer. Like,
yes.
it's not out of question for them to do that. Just the same way Muppets would do.
Yeah, because it is like we saw how it works in Roger Rabbit. That's like I see Roger Rabbit as the movie that showed us the behind the scenes of that world.
Mm-hmm.
Like the world where the Looney Tunes live in.
Mm-hmm.
And the other characters from Disney, because like it was a big crossover.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we brought it back with like I think it's the same world in the Rangers Roger name
Which
Chip
one?
and Dale Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I think we brought it back, that like same world of like all the characters living in one space and all of the characters being movie stars themselves. We brought it back. I think it's a continuation because Roger Rabbit does appear in that movie as well. So I think it's like there's like a background world where all the characters are like just living their lives and then they're like making movies. Like that's what it felt with this one as well. Like it really felt like that. Like because it's like this is really cool because it like Porky Pig and Daffy were casted for this movie the day the Earth blew up. And, like we even have like the little like part where he like where the girl, what was the name of the girl pig? Petunia,
which is another callback since she's another old character that you haven't seen in years.
Right? I thought she was familiar, but I couldn't tell where I have seen her before.
Like, she's also from the 1930s, so it's just great how they called back everything back. Like, she was basically Porky Pig's Minnie Mouse, because Porky Pig, before Bugs Bunny, was basically their Mickey Mouse.
Yes, okay, yeah, that's why he's, like, in the, like, that's all, folks. Mm-hmm. It's just, like, Bugs Bunny became more popular.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, like, interesting to not see any Bugs Bunny here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not even, like, in the beginning, or, like, presenting the movie or anything. Mm-hmm. Like, it was fascinating. I was like, oh, like, that's interesting. Like,
they really were just leading into that era before Bugs really became a thing.
Yeah, like, this truly felt like a throwback. Like, but, like, with very good anime. Like, not they didn't have good animation back then, but I'm just saying, like, well, like, crisp new technology that we have, like, just, like, very, I'm glad that they, like, went all fluid. Like, yes. It looks like they were doing hand-drawn animation. Like, actually, like, they showed us the sketches at the end.
Again, it really felt like it's an homage, like Bob Clampett cartoons, like Looney Tunes cartoons, because his cartoons especially were known for like the rubber hose animation, exaggerated expressions, just really leaning into the cartooniness with every move the characters made. And like you can see that in this movie as well. Like they were really leaning into that. And the animation, like you said, is so fluid, so snappy, so expressive, that really like landed the emotions the characters are making, the jokes they're doing, just every exaggerated movement really just lend itself to the humor and heart of the movie.
It was incredible, Nathan. I just, like, I can't express how happy this movie made me of, like, seeing 2D animation back in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when was the last time we had a 2D animated, like, movie?
Oh, man, I'm trying to think. The closest I could probably think of, and they weren't like even major movies, or I mean, they did a great job, but like the movies by that, was it Irish animation company, like Wolf Walkers, Song of the Sea, Book of Kells, like those are 2D animated. I don't think they made as big a splash as like other like animation movies like done in Hollywood, but like, and those are the only ones I can think of, and even those were like from 5 or 10 years ago at most. I forget.
Yeah, like, we haven't had, like, a proper 2D animated movie in a long time.
Because, like, the last thing Disney ever did was, like, Princess and the Frog, and they used that, and they used lousy box office from that as an excuse to never do it again, which was the wrong lesson to take from that.
Yeah, I hope that Disney sees that 2D animation is actually pretty good again, with this one. Because that's how... I hate that that's how Hollywood works. It's so stupid. But it's like, I think we've talked about this a lot of the time. So it's like, I think Hollywood works in such a stupid way. With how they, with how they make things. Because it's like, oh, the box office is going to show us if this is actually popular or not. I'm like, well, yes. Like, in a way, yes, like, this is what people want to see.
Like, that's part of it, certainly, just not everything.
Exactly. It's not like, well, this didn't do good, so 2D animation must be the problem. You know?
Because if that was universally true, we would not have cult classics. And cult classics, by definition, are movies or shows that, like, did not get a good following initially and did not make a lot of money, but then people saw it or like, oh, wait a minute, this is actually awesome. Have you seen this thing? How do we miss this?
Exactly. It's like Hollywood's problem is like, what is it? Like, what it's everyone's problem right now, and it is marketing.
Yeah,
that is the issue.
And which is unfortunate. And unfortunately, I think that's why this movie itself is not going to make a lot of money. I mean, all things considered, the fact that like it didn't have any marketing at all because Ketchup obviously did not have the budget for it, and it was so last minute. The fact that it didn't have any marketing budget at all, and still made the money it did is very impressive. It's still not enough to like really impress Hollywood, I'm willing to bet, because I don't think it even like made like its production costs back yet, but the fact that it did as much as it did at all, just through word of mouth on the internet, is still impressive. And hopefully, with Coyote versus Acme, Ketchup will have more time and money to actually do a marketing for it.
It's gonna do. I think it's gonna do good worldwide.
Here's the hope, yeah.
Looney Tunes, like this movie, is gonna do very good worldwide because Looney Tunes is big in the rest of the world as well. Like, yeah, you can say America loves Looney Tunes, but like freaking, you go to any other country and there's like people are selling Looney Tunes merch in every single store.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's still there. Like, and it's like bootleg, but it's like people love the Looney Tunes. So
and
like,
I love how like people in other countries like love the quote unquote canceled characters as well. Like I know people in America are ashamed to talk about like Speedy Gonzalez, but there's so many Latino people who are like, oh no, we love Speedy Gonzalez, unironically.
That was
like,
my favorite character.
Why would anyone hate him? Like, why would you cancel him? We love him.
Yeah, like I think here's the thing, and I was gonna bring this up in another episode, talking about something else, but sorry, but like I've seen so much of the new culture of like, oh, we like this is offensive to this person, this is offensive to this other person, this is offensive to like the general public, this is offensive to this country, and like you don't know that. Like you can't
speak on someone else's behalf on what's offensive or not. At least ask them first.
Yeah, because one of the things I really dislike is whenever, and we as Latin American people, we also get offended about this. Like, for example, like when the Scooby-Doo movie came out, me as a Latin American person, I was infuriated when they made like like, what's her name? Why did I drop on her name right now? One of my
Daphne?
favorite characters.
Velma?
Velma, there we go. What the heck is wrong with me? My sick brain. Velma, like I was really angry when they made her Latino. Because I was like people think like, oh, representation. I'm like, no. I like Velma. I like them all as white people. Like, I don't care. Like, I can still see myself in these characters without them having to be like some kind of other race.
Yeah, they don't need to look like me. They can still act like me. I can still see myself in them.
Like, and don't get me wrong, I do want characters to be represented
100%
in media, but I want them to be like actual characters that are that race. I don't want you to like race bend. Like, there's so many. Like, for example, like there's so many black superheroes. There's so many black characters, like Latin American characters in media, in books, in comics and stuff like that. And instead of like putting those characters in movies and putting those characters in the screen, they always choose to just race bend someone else, some other character. I'm like, well, like there's already a character that exists in this world that has those features and has that nationality. Why don't you just use that one?
Right, exactly.
Instead. Anyways, weird tangent, but
we can save that for another episode. But yes, there's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah,
but I 100% would love to talk more about that.
Like, one of the things I was saying, like I really love is that, and they didn't do it a lot actually. Like, and I was like, like I was happy about it, and like I was also sad about it. I was like a little bit in between, where it's like fourth wall breaking is not done a lot in this movie. It's like very subtly done in certain parts of it, and that is pretty good. Like there was like the stare into the camera some of the times. There was the part where Petunia goes in and it's like she like wants to know what happened. It's like read the script. Yeah. Read the script
my favorite they did, and like this is like another reason like why I adore this movie is like they do a callback joke of like an old reference, like the recurring gag recording for recurring fourth wall gag they did in OG Looney Tunes, where whenever something happens, an audience member that something happens on screen that like they like, an audience member like will pop up from the bottom, like you see their silhouette, and they're like, "Wait, what's going on? You're doing that? Oh, I'm out of here!" And like that would be a common joke they did back in the day. I love that they brought that joke back. It was so funny to me.
That was really good. Yes, I also really love that one. Wait, the duck? I'm
out of here.
Who greenlit this garbage? I'm out of here.
It was so good.
So good, man.
Like that joke like really just like caught me off guard. I'm like, and I loved every minute of it, every minute of seeing that. And I think another thing I really like is just how they weren't afraid to like own like the sappiness and the heart and just again lean into it. Like this is if you know me personally, you know how much I like love to make song references for everything and like include them in like in the most on the nose moments. And there's a really great moment in the middle of the movie, like when just where like the chips were down and like Porky and Daffy and Petunia are like, "Oh no, the world's getting taken over. What are we gonna do? Like, are we just gonna give up?" And then Porky Pig like has a flashback of childhood when they had that beautiful childhood with like alongside Daffy and like Farmer Jim, their father figure. And during that scene, they just like play this cheesy heartfelt montage while like they play the song Everything I Do in the background. Don't tell me it's not worth fighting for. I didn't see that joke coming, and when I saw it, like checked every mark in my book, it checked off. I just would die laughing in that moment. It was so funny. So I loved how earnest this movie is and how silly it is in embracing that earnestness. So I think that's really just the long and short of it. I think it's just a really good, earnest movie that's also very, very funny as well. And I think another thing I really enjoy is how I just enjoy the story arcs of both Daffy and Porky in this, I think. So like I really like that fourth wall breaking joke, but I also love the joke in the middle of the movie where like they play a cheesy montage to like 80s music. Don't tell me it's not worth fighting for. And that just really got to me.
Yes, like
as someone who very much loves to make music references, on the nose music references, that was just a really great moment for me.
Fourth wall breaking. I was a little bit sad there was not a lot more in it, but I was like, okay, this is remaining pretty balanced, and it's making me feel like this is like a world I'm inhabiting right now. Like I was able to like enjoy the world a bit more. And like, because when I'm watching like a Deadpool movie, I'm like, I'm aware this is a movie because like Deadpool keeps like bringing it up over and over. And like, it's not that I don't like that. I really love that, but it's like this movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, was actually like balanced in its fourth wall breaking because it was like very subtly done. It was really well done. It was like gags that they did in the past as well, like looking at the camera, like things like the script thing, like what you said with the guy standing up and leaving. It was pretty classic fourth wall breaking jokes, and like the music itself as well, like doing like little throwbacks to things that we've known about in the past. But one of the best gags in this movie is Farmer Jim.
Oh, 100%.
Oh my gosh, is he one of the best gags I've seen in an animated movie?
He's like the epitome of like what I'm saying about this movie of like it's such great humor and great earnestness and like owning that earnestness in such a silly way. And like he represents all of that for this movie, just in terms of being this like earnest, loving father figure that adopts Porky and Daffy, but also like being so like differently designed and animated from them. So like he's this kind of like mystic other almost. Like even when he leaves, he just kind of like basically fades off into the sunset with like only 2 frames of animation as he's like hopping instead of walking. And it's so hilarious. But then at the same time, right before he leaves, he like gives the whole earnest like thesis of this whole movie of you two have to stay together. Like you're brothers. Like if you stick together, you'll be fine. And they like go out of their way to like go from like not animating him at all. It's like giving him the most smoothest, most pristine animation in that one moment just to really sell what they're trying to say in this movie. And it's just perfect. It's like this is exactly, like Farmer Jim is this movie. Hello?
Oh, wait, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi was failing a bit over here for some reason.
All good.
Okay, what were you saying about Farmer Jim?
Farmer Jim, to me, I feel like just kind of encapsulates both the humor and the heart of this movie, and this movie does such a great job of just blending both that together. So they earn the earnestness of this movie in such a silly way. And so I love Farmer Jim because he shows up as this kind of like mystical father figure, this mystical other that like adopts Porky and Daffy and gives them a loving home. And like he's so animated different and designed so differently from them, to the point where like he even moves differently from them. So like when you see him walking, he doesn't walk, he just kind of hops every 2 frames. It's so funny. But at the same time, through his silly representation, at the same time, he also expresses the heart of the movie, because I love it right before he like mystically fades away into a sunset. Like you see them like suddenly give him all the animation all at once, and so smooth and so pristine. And then he's like, Porky, Daffy, you have to stick together. So long as you stick together, everything's going to work out fine. And that's the movie basically saying, boom, that's it right there. That's our lesson in this movie. That's our big thesis statement. So long as you stick together, you're fine. And we're going to show you how to stick together in the goofiest way possible. And so, but we're like telling you this from the mouth of like the weirdest character in this whole, weirdest, most mysterious character in this whole movie. But that's why we're doing it, just to make it really more important to you and really bring it home.
Just the difference in animation. And it's like the funniest thing is that they chose every single time to like cut, like, to like, either he's like painted like a full painting character, or he's like slightly more animated. It's so funny. Like
it's so good.
Like, I don't know if how your audience reacted, but every single Farmer Jim scene, everybody was laughing. Like we were all laughing. We understood where he was coming from, where we go like, oh, like when he's like talking about that stuff. But it's like everybody was freaking laughing. Even when he goes fully animated, it was funny because it's like it was so jarring to see him like actually animated. It's like and then when they cut back with the flashback, just the whole theater just erupted in laughter.
Like that got me so good.
It's supposed to be like very so smart. Whoever wrote this movie? Oh my gosh! Hold on, who wrote the movie? Writers. Where are the writers? Oh, here it is. It's written by a lot of people, but like the main person here says is Derek Bashman. We got Peter Brown, Garth. Like we got a bunch of people working on this. Like that wrote. Like
and you can tell it was made with love.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 writers. No, 11 writers. That's insane. And
the guy who directed this movie is the guy who did the cartoon Uncle Grandpa, which is also known for being a zany, insane show.
Oh my, that is crazy. Okay, that makes a lot of sense why they did the Farmer Jim thing is pretty Uncle Grandpa, yeah.
Yep. Like I love how it still also counts as a callback, because that design for Farmer Jim is very much a design that like they did once or twice in an old Looney Tunes cartoon. Again, from back in that 1930s era. Yeah.
It felt like two clashing eras of animation.
Yes.
Because like that was how they animated stuff back then. It's like using certain little frames here and there, and then like having fluid animations, fluid moments, for actions and stuff like that. But it was really funny. It's Pete Browngarth, the name of the person who directed it. And so that's so good that you told me that. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
I saw it on Twitter the other day. I was very amused.
And I think that makes a lot of sense. Like put someone who made something, who understands Looney in charge of Looney Tunes movie. Yes. That is perfect, because like Uncle Grandpa is such a Looney show. It's like very much Looney Tunes inspired show. I like Farmer Jim is incredible. It's like the audience reaction. I don't know if you had any audience reaction on your side, but that was like the most laughs from the entire movie. It's like every time like Farmer Jim would pop out, it was like the theater would erupt laugh.
100%.
Is that okay? Great, because it was so funny, and then seeing him in the sky was also really funny, because it's like,
oh my god!
So how are we meant to like take this? Is he like, did he die, and is he some kind of like god? Like, what is this?
He's Farmer Jim. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, don't question Looney Tunes. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, because it's like, even here they show like, I like, I really love one of the scenes where somebody, like, one girl in the theater, when like a woman, when like, wait, what? when Daffy, wait, because she's just like, wait, what? Are there more of him? Because it's like, whenever he like starts going, like, when Porky is like, you do your thing, and he just like begins to like multiply, like, and like hit the ground. It's just like a bunch of hymns. Like, I'm like, girl, don't do the Looney Tunes logic.
Yep. It's like you just had to embrace the absurdity, and I think the thing I like about Farmer Jim, and like, I might just be reiterating myself at this point, but I just love it so much, is that he may not make sense logically, obviously, but what I love is how he provides the emotional logic of the movie. Yeah. He represents the emotional attachment between Porky and Daffy. And I think that's the biggest thing I appreciate about this movie in comparison to like the old stuff, because like, it's funny. This movie is funny, just like the old stuff, and like we've been saying this over and over throughout this episode. But I think another thing I appreciate about this movie that makes it more unique is how they really go out of their way to add a lot more heart and depth to this, where like they actually explore the emotional relationship dynamic between Porky and Daffy, of like, okay, why are they attached to each other? What happens when there's something like comes between them? Like, how do they deal with that? Or like, what is something that could become between them? And like, when you step back, or like, you might not even need to step back, but like, when you look at their relationship, it really just feels like a neurotypical brother dealing with his neurodiverse brother, like Porky trying to understand Daffy's looniness, and like how Daffy's looniness, obviously like has caused a lot of trouble in the past, and like he's like learning how to deal with that, but also coming to trust, oh yeah, my brother does do these crazy things, but I'm just going to learn to accept this about them, and learn not only to accept it, but to trust it. And meanwhile, Daffy is learning, oh yeah, I can be loony, I can be chaotic, but I can learn how to dial it back.
Like, I'm glad you said that, because like I didn't even like I was not gonna bring it up, but it really, because like, I don't want people to be like, man, he's always talking about neurodiversity, this guy. Like, it's like, I'm sorry.
It's almost as if he has an old podcast about it.
Yeah. But I think like the fascinating thing, it's like you said, it's like, this movie didn't go out of its way, or the characters themselves either, to make like Daffy the bad guy, or like it was refreshing to see him again in this position, because like, we've been used to the very selfish Daffy for a long time. For seeing him like in like, he appeared like you said, like in the in that like Looney Tunes from the, I think it wasn't like the 80s, or was it the 70s?
Which ones are you talking about?
Like the ones where we get the like it's duck season. No, it's rabbit season.
The Chuck Jones Daffy Duck. Oh yeah, that came like, honestly, that came more like in the 40s. But like, yeah, that like, from that point on. Old. Yeah, from that point on, that's like forever how we knew Daffy. So like, this is a Daffy that predates that pretty much. Like, that's what they're paying homage to. So like, yeah, like you said, they do a great job of painting him not as like an agent of evil or like a selfish person. He's just kind of like this innocent guy that just happens to be loony. Like, he doesn't mean anything about it, and he's not trying to be mean. It's like, this is who he is. This is how he acts. This is how he expresses himself in the world he's in. He just goes loony, and that's it.
And like, essentially, this is the character that they brought back for the Looney Tunes cartoons, because that Daffy is the Daffy we see in that show. The one from way back in the 30s is what you mentioned, right? Is that kind of Daffy, and it's fascinating. It's fascinating to bring back something even more like from way back, and like trying to find the core of this character again. Yeah. Where we've seen this like valid interpretation of the character for so long, even into the 2000s. So let's kind of like bring him back to an earlier interpretation. And it works a lot, because it still has the core of Daffy. It's still Daffy. but it's like a Daffy that it's a little bit more relatable because like the other Daffy's more like a it could be relatable for people, but it's like he is very much like meant to be like this like down on his luck guy who like doesn't follow anyone's a way of thinking, and it's just like out there, right? But it's like this Daffy, it's like more chaotic and loony, and I love that. Like and it's just so good to like say like that's his thing, that he's loony, and it's not like a bad thing. It's just like nobody else. Like I love when he like it's such a good message, and it's such a like a good like way to take these characters where it's like they can't fit in like normal society, like in the normal world. But man, I can pull a lever. And
Yep.
this is the only good thing I can do. And this is the thing I can do. Because it's easy, it's simple. I understand it, and I can't mess it up. And to, like, for Porky to be like, no. And he's like, I also love that Daffy himself realizes it in the movie.
It really is just a give and take on both sides for both Porky and Daffy, and I love it.
Yeah, because okay, so like I know we were all over the place with this, but it's like this is how I see it. This is how my brain works. I'm sorry, but
just be loony, Ray. Just be loony.
Exactly. It is the Looney Tunes movie. Like I love like every other podcast follows like the narrative of the movie, and we always go like, well, we want to talk about the ending. No, we want to talk about the middle of the movie now. But so like I love the climax of hey, another animated movie where crying is the solution to this problem, like the SpongeBob movie. It was like crying was the thing that saved them from dying, and similarly here, crying saved them from the prison they were on. And like, I love it that the cry, the prison falls. But one of the funniest things that also my audience like got just like lost it was when Daffy was like, "It's all my fault," and then he's just like cuts to ramming his head against the door of a car.
Just pulls the car out of nowhere just to do that. Love it.
My audience lost it, and there was just now a whole car in here. Like he was like, "Oh my gosh, the Looney Tunes is back, baby!" I was like, "This is Looney Tunes, like just like weird cartoon logic, just like car appearing out of nowhere. This is great."
Yep.
Just for a gag, and it's just like so funny because it's like even the crying is meant to be like funny, but it also is emotional at the same time, and this is what I love.
Yep. This movie was just both funny and emotional. It was great.
Like this is what I love about comedy when it's done right. It's like it makes you feel things. It makes you truly feel things for the characters, but you can still laugh at the same time.
Yeah.
Why not? Why is this so hard to like comprehend for like new people writing comedy? Like it feels like they're losing I don't know, like it's what we were talking about with Deadpool. Like Deadpool 3 was so emotionally funny. Like it was so emotional and funny at the same time. And it did such a great job. Like when you have like good writers like that understand comedy and comedic timing, it's like, wow, did they do a good job. That's why like horror and comedy go well as well, because it's like if you have good comedy writers who understand comedy but can also bring some other substance into it, like it's always incredible to see. Like, and this was incredible to see. Like I felt emotional. And also,
it kind of goes to show why there's. It just reminds you like how there's so many comedians and so many comedic actors who like are so good at doing drama, and it just reminds me that like at the end of the day, the reason they're so good at doing both is because when it comes to comedy, well, I mean, when it comes to doing anything, like it's just a matter of like communicating a good story, and with comedy especially, in order to succeed in comedy, you need to be able to successfully tell a good, succinct story that's very funny. And so, because when you have that knowledge of like the comedic timing and the communication of telling a good story in a compelling way, you're able to apply that in pretty much any other genre as well. And so, when it comes to comedy, it's so easy just to like make that next step of being like, oh, okay, yeah, we got a good comedy story. We can also add emotion onto this because good emotion also involves good communication. So it's like it's all under the same umbrella. So I think comedy people just can kind of just see the code better than people who can't do comedy as well, and so they're able to like apply themselves in a variety of different genres or mash genres together really well. It's like that's why some of my favorite movies are movies that are really good at being funny, but also are not afraid to gut punch you with emotion, like say any James Gunn movie.
Yeah, honestly, James Gunn is so well at doing that, and that's why I'm so happy and excited for like all the DC movie stuff. Because he showed it with Peacemaker that he could do something like that. Because again, I'm not very much a fan of the Suicide Squad movie. I think he went a little bit too far when it comes to like because James Gunn sometimes likes to be a little bit mean with it, with like how far he goes with like killing characters and stuff like that. I think and he went a little bit too mean on this.
He
on
can't
that one.
like at his best. I feel like it's great when he's got like other people on his team to sort of like do some of the writing or do some of the like directing or like do some sort of like translating to like make it a bit more child friendly. Because when he's like unleashed, he can be very dark but still very funny. But like when he's paired with someone who can like help restrain him in that regard or like focus him in that regard, it's a great combo.
Yes, and that's why I really much prefer the Peacemaker show, because he's far less mean on that one. He's very much like none of the characters, like spoiler alert, but like that's been out for a long time. But none of the characters die in that show, and it is still like there's the fake out moments, but it was like a very nice one. Like it still had the like, oh no, who's the real enemy here? Did we mess up thing that James Gunn's like to put in its movies sometimes. Which actually was in this movie as well, weirdly enough, where it's like the alien turns out to be a good guy.
Yeah.
In a James Gunn movie, like it would have been like, oh no, we killed some of the people, not realizing that it was a good guy working on like our side all along. But here,
I do love that twist in this movie. How like at the end of the day, no one was really a villain in this. So like the real plot was just about like learning how to get along and work together. Like really, this whole story was just like learning how to work together with people different from you. Whether it be Porky and Daffy learning how to work together to get like a job in order to save their home, or learning how to work alongside a 50 scientists and a weird alien from outer space to stop a meteor from blowing up your Earth. So it's like it's all these disjointed types of people learning how to cooperate, because at the end of the day, so long as we stick together, like the theme of the movie says, we'll be fine. But like the only thing that's like opposing us sticking together is if we can't get over our differences and can't communicate with each other.
The structure of this movie is great, and it's like I think movies like Sonic 3 should have learned should learn from this, because I think see, like you can do emotion like and you can do comedy at the same time without it feeling jarring,
right?
And like we were discussing last week with that movie with Sonic, is that it was so jarring having like these two opposing. Like, there was a drama and a comedy happening at the same time. It didn't feel like a comedy drama. It felt like there was two movies going on at once.
And like even in that case, they could have made it work if they just got the timing better. And that's what this movie does so well, is they know comedic timing, because that's a key part of storytelling that I think a lot of people underestimate. Where it's like you need to have a good sense of when to do things and when not to do things, when to let things just sort of breathe and be quiet for a moment, and when to be loud. Like that's what Looney Tunes has always known for years, and like they've always like had good comedic timing, because not only were the jokes funny, but the jokes always done in timing with the music. Like they always went out of their way to animate in accordance with the soundtrack for that cartoon. Like they always start with the soundtrack first, then they animate over it, just to really make the jokes land all the better, because their jokes are timed with the music. And so that's a key part of storytelling, is just knowing when to say things.
This is why I think the Sonic movies would benefit from a cartoon director. Because, like, think about cartoons. Cartoons have, like, it's still they don't get the reputation they deserve. But over the years, cartoons have gotten very cinematic,
Mm-hmm.
like on their own right, and they have learned how to do good pacing between. Like we have 11-minute cartoons that feel like a full on movie.
Yeah.
Like feel they have like a narrative arc in 11 minutes.
Yep.
Like, and it's crazy. And some people like that work in Hollywood, like big directors, have like a 2 hour movie, and it feels like nothing happened in the 2 hour movie.
Yep. Yep.
Like, so like I think that like again, like the message of this movie, Hollywood would benefit a little bit more if they respected the different directors from different things and kind of work together. Like I said, like if you're making a half live action, half animated movie, right? Like maybe you should have some input from someone who works in cartoons,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know, but like that's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
On that.
And my thought to add to that as well, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about at the start of the episode of like, there's a problem when you like companies get too big and too unrestrained, and it's easier to take things for granted. I think another great thing about animation that you've seen over the years, like ever since the 1930s, is that a lot of the creativity comes from being restrained in a sense. Like, yes, with animation, you could do, like, obviously you can get away with doing a lot more than live action. Like you just let your imagination run wild. But also at the same time, when you're animating something, you're running under the limitations of like a strict time frame, a tighter budget. Like there are all these things that you have to keep in mind, and you might think that's super restraining, or you're not able to get away with as much as you hope. But when you learn actually how to like make art within those parameters, you're actually able to like do so much more with it, and you have a greater appreciation for like all the little details that go into storytelling. And so animators have known that for years, especially like back in the day when they were trying to like make theatrical cartoons, 7-minute theatrical cartoons, or like cartoons for TV, because they barely had a budget to make those, and they barely had time to make those too, especially when they started switching to TV. But they were making so many creative, wonderful things that still like captured the imagination of our pop culture today, like from like Looney Tunes to Tom and Jerry to the Flintstones to the Jetsons to Scooby-Doo. Like all of that was made on limited time, limited budget, limited means, and they were still able to do so many wonderful, fantastic stories just from because like necessity breeds creativity, I guess, basically. It's like, well, under those limited parameters, you're able to do so much. But so I think that's a problem when you grow too big, too fast, like with these corporate mergers, is you don't have those restraints anymore, and you don't learn how to work under those restraints. So you just kind of do whatever you want, whenever you want, and you have no real appreciation for like all the little details that go into making a good story. So you just kind of go too fast too quickly. It's like going from training wheels. It's like jumping straight to riding a bike and not using training wheels at all. It's like you're not going to understand how a bike works. You're not going to understand balance. You're not going to understand speed or anything like that because you're jumping straight to the final product too soon.
Like, and that makes a lot of sense with my theory on, like, I have this thing going in my head where it's like, I think the fact that we have become able, like, streaming has given people more quote unquote freedom of showing whatever they want and having whatever they want, where it's like there's less censorship. But I think censorship has created a world, many worlds, that have gone far and beyond trying to be the most creatively and be funny and have innuendos and have this and that, where it's like those things make the world funnier to me. Where it's like, as always, like I always like to bring this back up with Deadpool, for example. One of the things that I find funniest in the comic books is the fact that he is when he was censored back in the day, where like you had to he got angry every time he like wanted to drop an F-bomb, and he would like have to like reference the fact that he couldn't do that, or like that he saw like the little like exclamations and stuff
he
like that.
He had to get creative with his profanity.
Exactly. So it's like I like a lot of people view censorship in such a negative way. And like, but for me, it's part of those limitations that cartoons have had for a long time.
Yep.
And it's forced them to be even more creative.
Yep.
And like think about, and this is something that I've thought about with the Sonic movie 3, right? It's like, why is Sonic movie 3 like like it's for kids, right? But you got Ben 10, also for kids. And like also like for kids, like little kids, you know? So it's
Mhm.
like, how is those two different things, right? Like, on a different pedestal. Like I was telling you, like I think like the rating system, like it's gone like haywire and stupid and crazy. Like just don't understand where they're coming from when like you can have shows like Ben 10, right? Where it's like there's a lot of violence and stuff like that in Ben 10. And then you get the Sonic 3 movie like not being able to be violent enough. Where it's like, and I don't want to see violence. I just mean like there were like weird moments in that movie where it's like it didn't like it couldn't happen, right?
Mhm.
Like, and of course, like I love one of the things I love about Looney Tunes is just like incredible violence that it has. Like, it's so funny to me that in this movie there was like also like a lot of the moments where I was like, wait, is this supposed to be like real life? Is this gonna like kill them? Because it was like the insinuation is like they're gonna die. I'm like, what? But they're Looney Tunes, aren't they? Right? It's like they're not gonna die. Like you can explode in this world and nothing happens. Like, it's really funny because like in the beginning of the movie, like she creates a bubblegum that explodes Daffy, and then it's like and she says like, "Well, it's not a real explosion." I'm like, "Explode it!" And it's like they bring it back up at the end. And it's like, "Just explode it!" It does. So, and I knew, of course, that we're not gonna die. It's like I found it funny that there was a lot of like, oh, and the gross like eye thing in the bubble gum. That was really like that got my audience. It's like, oh.
I
But
love the joke when like it was like breaking out, trying to break out of its cell, and Daffy is like, "Oh boy, I'm glad it's in. I hope this shatterproof glass holds." And Petunia is like, "Actually, shatterproof glass can do blah 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 blah, and like restrain and like hold up all these tons of pressure." And Daffy's like, "Oh, that's good, but that's not shatterproof glass," and then it immediately
yes,
breaks.
that was really funny. I love that so much. That's actually a really good joke. Like made me chuckle. Uh,
I also
Such a good
love in
joke.
regards to like their humor, and this can be like this is like my biggest concern going into the movie because as someone who's like seen like a lot of the old Looney Tunes stuff,
Yeah.
it can be like hit or miss when it comes to how their jokes hold up in history because there are a lot
Uh-huh.
of Looney Tunes cartoons that like do like stand on their own 2 feet because they're self-contained humor and like it's
Yeah.
just mostly like the jokes are within the realm of the cartoon. But then like for every cartoon that is pretty self-contained, they have one or two cartoons that like very much rely on like pop culture stuff. And so it very much dates that cartoon because if you go back to a cartoon from the 1930s, you might see like all these parodies from actors that like are long since dead that you don't know about,
Yeah.
so you don't get the jokes anymore. So I was worried going into this, oh, is this going to be like a more self-contained movie or is it going to be a super dated movie that's relying on a lot of modern pop culture references? And
Yeah.
I'm glad to see this was more of a self-contained movie where there
Yeah.
was occasional pop culture reference, but for the most part, it was all self-contained and felt pretty timeless in that regard. Where like, even if you watch this 10 years down the line, there's nothing that you really see in this movie that makes it seem out of place. Like the closest example I can probably think of off the top of my head was like the 5-second TikTok joke they did. And that was a very on-point joke. And I think TikTok, and even TikTok is not around in the next 10 years. I feel like there's still going to be some equivalent that comes around. So like, even through that one joke alone, I don't think it's going to be that dated that quickly anytime soon. But like
Oh
for the most
yes,
part,
that was really funny.
and, but like yeah, for the most part, it was just very self-contained. I very much appreciate the writers went in that regard as opposed to trying to
Yeah.
like make a bunch of fourth wall jokes to like say the president
Yeah.
nowadays or like some other modern celebrities. Like I like how they stuck with their own story and make jokes within the realm of that story.
I was really happy. That's actually like you hit the nail on the head. Like to what I was afraid of when I went into the theater. Like I was afraid this was gonna be bits. Like I was afraid this movie was just gonna be a bunch of bits of pop culture and stuff like that all together. Because that's what that's what I've expected from like movies nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a bunch of like from Warner Brothers at least, where it's like product placement, and like
Yeah,
that
especially
last.
their animated movies. Like if you look at any sort of
Yes.
like directed DVD animated movie done like in the past 5 or 10 years, like a Tom and Jerry movie. Like yeah, you can definitely see why. I can definitely understand why you would think that.
And like even the last Looney Tune movie and like the Scooby Doo movie was just like some like cheap thing of like trying to reference a bunch of different crap,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really sad. Like it really made me sad because it's like you bring back Space Jam, right, and you make me feel nothing
Mm-hmm.
for it. That movie was such a like. And like you can go back and watch Space Jam, and it's like not as impactful as it was before because it loses a little bit of like I think looking at Michael Jordan's acting as an older person now, it's like man, he was doing a really bad job at
Yeah.
acting
No
in this
mouse
movie.
like we'll always have a nostalgic attachment to that movie, but no amount of nostalgia will actually make us realize it's actually that great a movie. But we'll always
Yeah,
love it.
exactly. And like when I was a kid, like I could excuse it, right? But now, like when I watch it as an adult, I'm like, dude, Michael, like you had to just a little bit more emotion in this.
Honestly, the better
Like,
Space Jam Jew that existed even before Space Jam Jew was a thing was Looney Tunes Back in Action. Like I watched that
of
like a
course.
couple of years ago, and
Oh,
that still holds up so well.
but yeah, like Back in Action is it is the better like live action plus Looney Tunes movie because
Hmm.
it still holds up. Like I've seen it recently, not recently, but like in the like I saw it like a couple of years ago again. I was like, yeah,
Same.
this is still really good.
It's a
Um,
shame it didn't get much acclaim when it first came out, and like
yeah,
there was not like a lot of great animation stuff happening that year too. Like Joe and I were looking at it the other day in 2003. Like the main examples I saw were like Brother Bear and Finding Nemo, obviously, but the rest were mostly just kind of like a Disney DVD spin-off sequels, straight to DVD
mhm.
sequels, or just kind of like obscure stuff you never heard of, or like say a Barbie movie, which like was one of the Oscar nominees that year. So it's like if a Barbie movie gets an Oscar nominee, that means the Academy really did not have a lot of other choices that year.
Like I'm really hoping that this movie does go well in the box office and like because it's just brilliant. Like from like the growing up scene with Porky and Daffy. Oh, and by the way, played by the same guy, Eric
Yep,
Bauza, has been playing like almost the entire cast
yep.
for the past 5 years, and it's incredible.
Really just being a modern day Mel Blanc for this franchise now.
Yeah, and that's just so crazy that he's just playing against himself. So like I think that like even I love the fact that Daffy's the one that causes Porky's stutter. That was really funny. Uh, as someone like with a disability and what so, like sometimes I do get like a bit I don't know if offended is the right word, but it's like do get like a little bit mad when like disabilities are used as a butt of a joke. But
Mhm.
I think it was so brilliant. Like I don't care. Like people were laughing, and some were like you. I heard some of the people like laughing, but so like at the same time they were like, should we laughing at this? But when like that like Porky and what's her name? Sorry,
Petunia?
Petunia got stuck on the words together.
Yeah,
It
their
was
scenes
great.
together were really cute.
It was cute and it was like really funny. Like my theater just like lost her laughing as well as I. And I was like, we were all like laughing at it. It's like when a joke is done right, because like this Porky Stutter is not overdone as a joke anymore. Like I think back in the day, like that was meant to be one of the jokes.
It
But
was like really it was literally like their lifeline when it came to making a character that was distinct from Mickey Mouse. Because the problem like back in the day was like every studio and their grandma was trying really hard to make another Mickey Mouse to imitate,
yeah,
the actual Mickey. And so Looney and Warner Brothers in general had gone for like two or three different characters that were like rip-offs of Mickey Mouse before landing on Porky. Like they had Bosco, they had Buddy, they had Foxy, and they were all just super bland and boring for the most part. And then they finally got to Porky, and Porky had distinct design, distinct personality, but the main draw to him was like that he had the stutter, and like that's what made him different from Mickey Mouse. It's like it's something, it's not much, but it's our thing, and we're going to lean into that for all it's worth.
yeah, and but it is a
But now times
service
have
to
changed.
it is a service to the fact that whenever you do a good joke, no matter what you're doing the joke at, and you do it from a place of like not malice, but just a sense of like we're all people in this world, and comedy is one of the ways that we can just relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
Yes. Because again, that fits with the theme of this movie. Like, the theme of this movie is just encouraging people, get along with each other, stick together, learn to work together. And like, watching this movie, just like, for me, it's just definitely one of those, like, this can help give you faith in humanity kind of things. Like, this movie wants to remind you of that.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think like throughout the whole plot was also like I didn't see the twist coming because I was like, well, this is a Looney Tunes movie. It's probably just a bad guy, because usually Looney Tunes is more like straightforward with its plots. Like I was like, yeah, this is your classic evil alien who's trying to take over the world for like a very stupid resource. Like I knew it was gonna be stupid.
Oh yeah.
Like that's why when they revealed it was Boba, it wasn't funny to me especially, but for everyone else, it seemed to be really funny. I was like, to me it was like stupid, like because I knew it was gonna be something stupid, and I was kind of like already expecting it to be something dumb.
I was fine with Boba because I guess my logic was like with the whole like the bubbles inside the Boba, it just really goes to show this alien is really like shooing things. My only like critique is like I wish they hadn't shown us him drinking boba earlier in the movie. I wish it kind of came more out of left field, but then again, I guess it was their way of setting up the joke. But yeah, it's fine.
Oh, he was drinking boba?
Yeah, there was a scene earlier in the movie where he's like drinking out something. You didn't know what it was, but you like clearly saw him drinking something because his henchman like brought it to him, and then like I think his henchman like made him spill it. But like, he was very much drinking something excitedly, and was annoyed that it got like.
Oh yeah, it's because he does the like really long spit take.
Yes, that was it. That was it.
That gag was really great. I'm like, it was so long. That reveal wasn't funny to me, to be honest. I was like, okay. It's like, because I was like kind of expecting that to be dumb, but like I was like, I guess that did feel a little bit dated to me. That's the only thing that felt, because like Boba isn't that popular anymore. That felt like Boba was like a very, very popular thing like a couple of years ago, but I don't know if it's like
my guess is like, again, the joke didn't land super hard for me either, but I didn't hate it because I was willing to accept it as like the movie's way of showing, oh, he's just another absurd idiot too. Like every person in this movie is just an absurd idiot that like has their quirks. Where like Petunia likes to lick random things. Daffy is a conspiracy theorist who's loony. Porky has a stutter, obviously. And like even the scientist they meet up with is just like an obvious parody of like the 1950s scientist, and is not actually as competent as he will like to lead you to believe.
Oh, by the way, Farmer Jim and the scientist are both played by the same person.
Nice. That makes sense.
Yeah. And Farmer Jim at the end with, like, giving them the
insurance policy.
Oh, that was really good. The insurance policy was so funny.
How'd you know, Farmer Jim? I've been around you guys long enough to know something's going to go down.
I love how specific it was. It was so funny. Oh my gosh, it was such a good Looney Tunes movie. I also love the cleverness of the title being the day the Earth blew up, as in the bubblegum bubble.
Yep.
And I think I want more of this.
Yes.
More of this, and I hope that like Wile E. Coyote versus Acme is really good as well. And it looks just from the concept itself of like Wile E. Coyote suing Acme for
so much potential in the concept.
It's such a good concept. I am so excited. I'm so excited to see that. And I love that it's another like 2D live action mix. Great. Right? It looks like it's 2D.
Yep. Yeah. My hope is that it'll be like another Looney Tunes back in action in terms of quality. Like, I just want another one of that.
Like, I want that to be the case as well. Because even though Rescue Rangers was, like, great, like, they did have a lot of CG characters in that movie. But it was, I still thought it was really funny that, like, CG was, like, a surgery that you could do from turning to DG.
That was a good joke.
CG. That was a really good one. Oh my gosh. And like one of them stayed 2D and the other one was 3D. That was really good.
Like, I'm mixed on the story of that movie, but like I love so many of the jokes in it. Like, I think my favorite one was like when someone like gets hit on the head, and so like it's obviously like summons like the canary on the head to like spin around him. But like you cut to like the canary like getting out of bed in the middle of the night, and his wife is arguing with him. Like, do you really have to go? I have to. It's my job.
Really? We should really talk about that movie.
Yeah, we'll save it for another episode.
Because I didn't know you were mixed about the story.
I don't think we ever talked about it, so now we know.
Yeah. Let's save that from another show then.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think that any last thoughts that you have on this one?
I think my only thoughts is like if this movie's still playing around you, please go and see it. You'd be doing yourself a service, and obviously you'd be supporting the movie. And even if it's not still playing in theaters, just look out for any opportunities to watch it on streaming. Like, I think it's a legitimately good movie, and I really hope that the creative team involved in this goes on to make more great things and still gets like all the acclaim for making this movie, because they deserve it. They did a great job.
Yes, this movie was great. Please support it. I'm very, very excited for it. I think it's man, it's such a good movie. Like, you guys are gonna have fun watching it. Like, and even if we did a couple of spoilers here, if you haven't watched it, it's fine. Like it's a Looney Tunes movie. Like, you don't need. Like, I don't think you're gonna find like the best story ever. It's just funny as heck, and it's like really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it, and that you keep listening to this podcast, and have a great day.
That's all, folks.
Ba-da-ba-ba-bum, ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum.